I know, I know. I've been dragging my feet. It's been a minute, but I figure with Halloween slowly marching its way here towards the end of October, let's finish up that nice house on the lake. It was one of those ones where I put on the back burner, and to be honest with you, I just completely forgot. So this is issue 5. Now, if you need a refresher, I'll make sure to put the playlist up here so you guys can check it out at your convenience. But spoiler alert if you've not been reading this, so if you haven't, pause this video, go get the books, read them up to issue 5, and come back, and you're back. Last issue, the team, all the inhabitants of the house found out that if they write down what they need, Walter would give it to them. I mean, no matter how absurd it is, which is the comedian. I'm gonna be honest, I can never really remember everyone's name. I can kind of pinpoint them by their alias that Walter has given them, but the comedian, he asked for random stuff like pinstripe question mark suits, mailman suit. But there's another woman in here who her husband died when Earth was invaded by these aliens. And her lists are always like, my husband, Walter, you asshole, give me my husband back. But as Walter won't answer her requests, she finally starts saying a razor blade, a razor blade, a razor blade, or something to that degree. And Walter won't give it to her. Well, we've come to find out that the characters right now, just keep that in mind right now, cannot die. There's a big, messy page at the end of the last book where you see people covered in blood saying we had to test the theory, and everyone's puking and getting sick, and he goes, "We can't die." Now we're introduced to this new character, which thinking how his name is Reginald, and apparently him, Walter, Sam, I think is the other guy, and Nora were all friends, like really tight knit friends around the college years. And I'm glad that Tinian here makes it a point to show how they were all close and how Walter would kind of keep certain people at arm's length and would be closer to others. What happens this issue is before, again, this is his college years, he essentially explains to Nora and Reg what he is. I can feel how much he cares about you, how much you care about him, and it makes me like you. You're so smart. You're the smartest person I've met, probably. I can see it in a different way than they can. And it terrifies them, which we will get into more here in a second. And then we open up on this transcript of what happened last issue, which I'm appreciative. So if you don't have the books, it at least brings you up to speed. And this kind of goes back to what I talk about, where your first comic should get you involved in the story and make you want to go back and read the older issues and continue forward. So even though it does feel like a chore, this is one of those things where it just, instead of just saying previously, it ties into the story. We see a finger covering here, and we're like, whose finger is that? Now, before we go any further, Nice House on the Lake was created by James Tinian IV and Alvaro Martinez Bueno. James Tinian writing, Alvaro Martinez Bueno doing the art and cover, Jordi Bell colors, and World Design doing the lettering, and then there's everyone else working on the book. And I just love this splash page because it makes it look so serene when what's going on outside of this barrier is anything but. So here, everyone's kind of bandaging themselves up and sort of freaking. You go, Walter, you asshole. Everyone shut the fuck up. Okay, thank you for the floor, I think. Shit, I hate the spotlight. So a thought just kind of hit me like a thunderbolt. If Naya hadn't patched me up, we would have known about the healing factor shit on day one. Walter tried to tell us the rules here on our first day. If you remember, Nora tried to confront Walter, and he basically mutilated her arm in the first issue. Then everyone wrapped it, hoping that she would heal. What if he can't tell us the rules? And I kind of like how even though everyone has their own agendas, they all finally, even though they're not all tight-knit, they just basically put together from just all-knowing Walter. But they all start working together and start sharing all the different things that they've experienced. Now, a couple of issues ago, again, this guy, I cannot remember his name, but we see him sneak off into the woods. And he goes, I don't understand. Am I supposed to stop them from putting this stuff together? Or is this what you want? Walter, please, are you out there? Can you hear me? And I don't remember if the woman that's part of this, that's the cook, I don't remember if it's his wife or his girlfriend, but basically Walter said, I need you two to keep things together here in the house. Now, again, you would think this is more reading, but this individual, I don't remember if she's the doctor or whatever she is, but she says, I'm going to ask Walter for a whiteboard so we can start writing out everything that is going on. So this is kind of what I'm going by for the symbols: the comedian, the accountant, the pianist, the doctor, the consultant, the artist, the writer, the reporter, the acupuncturist, and the scientist. Now, for the artist, this is something that becomes important later. So make sure to keep this in mind. If y'all want to read that, feel free to pause it. But the underlying question of everything is, why did he take us? And I just like how that becomes the burning question. And again, it makes everyone start to explore. Sam, I think, is the one, says that he found another house on the other side of the lake, which leads everybody to go investigate. And they find all these munitions under the house, and the comedian just takes it super serious. I mean, he's ripping into this glass house, and he goes, I don't think it's glass, because that would have shattered. They try blowing it up with C4 to no extent, but they find a little trick that finally allows them to open the door. And a certain individual that we've been talking about at the beginning of this book comes to light, and he goes, oh, fuck, it's so good to see people, to hug real human people. Baby, give me a kiss. Now! You stupid asshole, you didn't think you'd invite me. Why weren't you looking for me from day one? So we come to find out that this particular character is more in the know of Walter's machinations than the rest of the characters. And that's where issue 5 ends. Things are starting to kind of come to fruition. Things are starting to get deeper. And you're wondering, what can Reginald here do to help them stop Walter and possibly save Earth? So short review, I know, guys, but this is one of those ones where everything finally starts to move forward in the plot, and it just helps a lot. Because the first 4, you kind of feel like you're sort of skimming by, but those were necessary to bring you in and get you to know at least a majority of the cast of characters. So if you've enjoyed what you've seen, please first and foremost support your local comic shop and go grab this series. It has been a delight to read thus far. And if you've enjoyed this review, really would appreciate taking a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the channel more than you could possibly know. And if you don't mind hitting that fancy little lake house bell next, subscribe. That way you can upload content, you guys get notified. Come to the channel, and I love talking with you all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below or the socials, which I'll make sure the links down in the description. So with all that said, hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, everyone.